Welcome to the Emerging Litigation Podcast, a co-production of HB Litigation, Critical Legal Content, Law Street Media, and Fastcase. I'm your host, Tom Hagee. Today we're going to talk about the advantages of having technology and software development capabilities inside your law firm. Can you imagine? And we're not just talking about somebody who can unjam the printer. That's what I'm good at. While the legal tech industry offers myriad high-quality solutions, some of my best friends are technology solutions, there are times when a litigator just wants that one thing that the tech doesn't do, or presents enough of a learning curve that the attorney just won't embrace it. There are also service enhancements attorneys would like to offer clients, capabilities that set the firm apart, capabilities that demonstrate the firm has the client's best interests at heart, and that the firm is even, hold on to your hats, innovative. Litigators want to get an edge at trial. They want to be able to collaborate smoothly with clients. They want clients to get answers to important questions quickly. That's what they expect. So focusing on customer experience is not just for retailers anymore, but you know that. Joining me to talk about how one law firm benefits from having its own in-house technology developer is Sam McAllister. He is Director of Litigation Technology at the law firm Lightfoot, Franklin & White in Birmingham, Alabama. Sam works on creative solutions for the firm's litigation defense teams, solutions that fall into categories of communications, workflows, automation, multimedia, task efficiency, jury selection, organizing information, and courtroom visualization. The results come in the form of proprietary software, custom platforms, and apps. Many make the firm more efficient, cost-effective, and better equipped to collaborate with clients. Some have the effect of wowing clients, too. I like that part. So it's no wonder that Sam found himself on the Fastcase 50 list. It's a unique award that celebrates innovative makers in law. Makers. That's what they say. Of Sam, they said he exemplifies the build-your-own spirit of the honor. Fastcase 50, of course, is run by Fastcase, one of my partners on this podcast. Sam is a leader of the firm's Case Clarity Group, which provides highly developed technology to clients throughout the duration of a case, e-discovery collaboration with Lightfoot lawyers, and adaptive evidence models to make complex ideas simple, and who doesn't want that? And I like this part. Ask any lawyer who knows him. Sam does what it takes to help you win a case and is known for bringing calm to the most intense of trials. I can think of many work groups that would benefit from such a person who brings calm. Maybe that's a new title, the Director of Calm. I mean, a cat can only do so much. Sam received his BS in computer science from Auburn University. Go Tigers. Speaking of cats, see what I did there? And now, here is my interview with Sam McAllister, Director of Litigation Technology at Lightfoot, Franklin & White. I hope you enjoy it. So Sam McAllister, thank you very much for doing this today.
Thank you for having me.
I've described some of what you do and what the firm does. And a lot of firms have internal IT support, but to have in-house development expertise like yours seems out of the norm. Can you tell us how your position evolved there?
Well, I started at the firm kind of just e-discovery role back in 2007. And pretty quickly, I started going to trials, doing traditional kind of trial support, graphics, PowerPoints, trial director, that kind of thing. And that kind of became my main job. But anybody that's done trials know it kind of comes in waves. I'll have 2 or 3 weeks of heavy trials, and then there may be 2 weeks of kind of downtime where I'm getting ready for the next one. And I had a background in coding. I done some in high school, done websites. I majored in computer science at Auburn, so I had some coding experience, and I was doing some kind of just personal pet projects on my own. And we kind of just started talking about, hey, maybe we could do some things for the firm. And you started kind of small and just kind of grew from there as more attorneys got some more ideas, and we kind of just built on top of that over the years.
Talk to us about how you engage with litigators at the firm. That is, how do you learn about their specific challenges or needs that they may have where technology can help?
With a discussion among the attorneys, even without me, they'll say, we really need to do better at this. And then somebody will come to me and say, hey, can Can you do something, find something, or build something that can help us with this? I think the first thing I remember, this was probably 10 years ago, they were having a meeting, some way to keep track of all the different venues in Alabama and who's been where and who's doing what, and so we came up with an idea for like a Wikipedia for the firm. So attorneys could come in and, update the Wikipedia page for this county in South Alabama or something like that. And so I started kind of coding that, and that was our first coding project. We learned a lot in that process, but it's not something we still use today. But people kind of realized at that point, hey, we can do some pretty cool stuff.
So you've been engaging with the litigators at the firm, and you said sometimes they're having discussions kind of themselves. So what's that like, though? I'm just curious about the process. So they'll say, we need, we'll talk about your map in a minute, but we need to keep track of a certain thing, or we need to present in a certain way. Is that just kind of a routine? Do you routinely meet with them, or they just have a problem and they come to you with it?
So, there are some attorneys that I routinely meet with, and we kind of go over the projects we have already built and see what kind of upgrades we can do, enhancements. Sometimes people will just call me out of the blue and say, hey, I was using this and I wish I could do this.
So, there's so many off-the-shelf products out there, but it sounds like, as you said, people will come to you and say they need something a bit different or need it to do more. Can you share some of the solutions you've developed?
Yeah, and off-the-shelf products are great. I don't want to talk bad about any of those, and I've probably demoed all of them that are out there, and they all have their strengths. But also, they're just all a little off from how we practice law. And so, making requests of the company to change parts of their software is kind of a difficult task. And sometimes they'll do it, sometimes they won't. We've kind of really gone into this, the idea that we're not trying to replace how attorneys here practice law, which is sometimes what you do. If you bring in a product, you say, okay, well, this is how you have to do your practice from now on. You have to do it just so this software fits. And so we're trying to build software that augments how our attorneys practice law to kind of enhance what they're doing.
One of the areas which you developed a solution was in with jury selection. Can you tell us about that?
That was probably the first big piece of software that we really spent a lot of time focusing on. We had demoed 5 different jury selection software and kind of in the App Store. They're all great, but again, they just didn't fit exactly how we were doing jury selection. So I met with a couple of attorneys. We kind of tinkered with some ideas and built it up over the years. And now it's something that, we use in every single trial, every single time. It's not even an option anymore. And it's also going back to that, replacing how attorneys practice law. We kind of went into this knowing we're not going to be able to pry the traditional index cards out of attorneys' hands when they're doing voir dire. That's just how they're going to. So we're trying to build software that augments that so that they can do their thing. And then they have this great digital tool available if they want it.
Are you able to tell us much about how it works?
I don't want to get too much into the details about all, but generally it's just a digital way to do your jury selection. We have all the information. We can collaborate on notes between live during the selection process. And again, it's just something that we change probably on a weekly basis. People say, hey, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do this. And I get a lot of feedback, and we just make the changes on the fly.
So you've enabled them to, as you said, replace their note cards, but also enable you all to have all the information on the folks and then be able to kind of collaborate and communicate during the process. Is that right? Sort of generally the gist of it? Very cool. And how long have you been doing that?
We've done it on maybe 30 or 40 trials at this point.
But so does this mean physically, are the lawyers sitting at in the courtroom at voir dire with their laptops or iPads or something?
It's laptop or iPad based and connected to the network, and all real-time collaboration the whole time.
Let's talk about this other the Apex doctrine, which now this has to do with deposing corporate executives. And corporate executives are a common, I don't want to say target, but I did just say target. They're commonly someone that plaintiff attorneys commonly want to depose, and they may or may not have expertise in the subject of the case. But maybe you could tell us a little bit more about it and what you did with the Apex doctrine, because it seems like a great source with many applications.
The Apex doctrine is not just about corporate executives. It's also, the CEO of a company, whether or not that person can be deposed in a lawsuit, whether or not they have knowledge about the case or not. And so we represent clients all over the country and have run into some of these cases where that's come up. And one of our associates did a 50-state survey, case law from all the states, state and federal. And, it's a big, bulky document. It's great. You can pass it around if you need to, but we're really talking about what would be a great way to get this to our clients, get this to our in-house counsel, and let them kind of see whenever they want to what the status is. So we built this website and made a kind of interactive, clickable map. You can click on Texas and it'll show you the state and federal law. And it's something that we can continually update behind the scenes without having to circulate a new draft to every client we have. And so we've rolled it out to all our clients that may have that issue, and they use it pretty regularly.
Yeah, I didn't think about it working with clients. It would seem to be a real value add for working with you guys.
It is. And we've gotten great feedback from them. It's something, rather than if a case comes up and the CEO asks general counsel, am I going to be deposed in this case in Arizona? They don't have to wait for us to do the analysis. They can go look it up and say, okay, that state's clean on the law. You will not be deposed in that state.
Right. It would seem not that you're involved in client development, but it would seem when someone is pitching a new client, it would seem like that kind of thing would separate the firm, make them stand out in my mind.
I think it does.
What about feedback you're getting from attorneys? Any success stories you could share where they've used some of the solutions you've developed with them?
It's pretty much constant feedback from attorneys. That's what we're trying to encourage. I think attorneys generally are used to be slow to adopt technologies because they're kind of thinking, okay, this doesn't work how I want it to. I'm just going to not use it. And so we're trying to make the firm culture so that they know they can have input on these products and have real-time results.
Are there things that they've been able to accomplish with your tools that may have been difficult or unlikely to do before? I mean, certainly improved jury selection, collaboration, and sharing, the latest law on the Apex doctrine. Anything else come to mind?
So I know I talked about the wiki, which was kind of our first attempt at building software. And we just learned a lot in that process about what our attorneys will do and what they won't do. And so we learned they're not going to go spend time summarizing a venue on the wiki without some kind of, pressing issue. So we took all the good stuff we learned from the wiki and all the stuff we learned not to do and kind of built a new case management platform. And that's probably been one of our biggest overall firm projects, building this platform to kind of manage where our cases are, who's on them, what their status is. And that has generally grown from just a couple of clients to now it's kind of a firm-wide practice that all our cases are going to go into this case management platform, and we'll have real-time data across the country for that.
Are you finding other people that have a position like this at other firms?
So I do think it's unusual to have it in-house. I know a lot of companies that will build custom products for firms, just they're their own company, and that's great. They do a lot of great work. And then there's tons of companies out there that have their pre-built software that they sell, and that's all great. And we're not trying to compete with them. We're just we've used plenty of outside third-party software for different things, but we just are trying to do what we can to make our lives easier here.
Well, what would you say to a firm who says, you know what, we could really use custom solutions for our work, and we'd like to differentiate ourselves? What would you tell them?
I think I would tell them just to give it a shot. I mean, you can start small like we did. There's no harm. There's no cost issue. If you've got somebody at your firm who's got some coding experience and you want to give them the free range to start working on something, just say go for it. That's why I've kind of been lucky to be at a firm that's on board with that, and there's really nothing to lose, what I would say.
I don't know how many firms have anybody with coding experience in them, but I suppose they could freelance something if they needed to. So is there anything else you'd like to share about this? Because I think it's just a very cool value add. It makes things more efficient for your attorneys, but I really like how it must resonate with clients.
Yeah, I think clients are just really impressed that we're at least trying something different. And the biggest feedback I hear is that they can tell we're doing it from a place of trying to win the case for them. Not so much as we're just trying to save some money here and there or save some time, do something easier. They know we've made this software to try and help them win cases. That's what really impresses them the most.
Yeah, I guess right behind actually winning the case, demonstrating along the way that that's you've got their interests at heart and are willing to be creative and innovative about it. Seems like it must go a long way with them.
It does.
The perception of law firms isn't necessarily they're high tech, innovative people. What do you tell people when they come to you with that sort of like, well, you guys are living in the Stone Age, aren't you? What do you? What's your response to that?
Yes, I think the bar is definitely higher for new software to come into a firm. I mean, you're a senior partner has their way of doing things, and you can't really argue with the fact that it's been successful for a long time. But I think more and more firms are starting to realize, hey, there's some real opportunity here to advance the firm and do things a different way. And I think you'd probably be hard pressed to find firms in 2023 that haven't embraced technology in some way. And 5 years from now, you'd probably find even less, if any.
Well, that is all I had. And so I appreciate you speaking with me about this.
Oh, thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
That concludes this episode of the Emerging Litigation Podcast. If you have any questions about anything you heard on the podcast or would like to participate, please write to me at editor@litigationconferences.com. The Emerging Litigation Podcast is a co-production of HB Litigation and Critical Legal Content, my companies, and Fastcase, and our friends at Law Street Media, David Nair, Editor-in-Chief. This is also the audio companion to the Journal on Emerging Issues in Litigation published by Fastcase, Full Court Press. Tom Hagee, Editor-in-Chief, Morgan Wright, Publisher. I'm your host, Tom Hagee. That's why I'm talking, and I don't know if it needs to be said, but this is not legal advice. Unless telling you it's not legal advice is legal advice, although I'd argue it's just plain common sense. Thanks for listening. Give us a rating, share with friends. See you on the next episode.